My, oh my, this heat. This heat is so oppressive. I don't think I can stand it. If it gets any hotter, I may have to shed some clothes.
Oh, please.
What's that you say, Sassy?
I said, oh, don't do that, Miss Pepper. Mr. Knight's heart won't be able to take that.
You're probably right. A man his age could be gone at any moment.
Oh, you could only hope.
Excuse me?
I said, here, drink this. This'll help cool you down.
Why, thank you. I am parched. By the by, have you seen Juan?
Which one?
I'm sorry. Did you say which one or which one?
Oh, either one.
Yeah. One-eyed one. The one with the eye patch? Not the one with that thing. I have an errand I'd like for him to run.
Well, if I see him, I'll send him along.
Thank you so much.
Hello,
Just bring the
Sassy.
mains down.
Well, good morning, Mr. Boyle. Might I make you a
Yeah,
refreshment?
Yes, I'll have what Miss Devine is having.
A heat stroke? Oh, I ran out of lemons. Do you mind waiting while I go and
That'll be
slice
fine.
some more?
Morning, Miss Devine. Fine, Divine. Hey, that rhymes. I must be a poet.
Amongst your other talents, no doubt. What an unexpected pleasure.
I assure you the pleasure is all mine.
Why, Mr. Boyle, if I didn't know any better, I'd think you were trying to flirt with me.
I must polish my skills if you think I'm only trying. If you don't mind my saying so, you look
Hot? Huh, you got that right.
indeed.
You would think a man as wealthy as Prescott could afford air conditioning.
Perhaps that can be your wedding present. The previous Mrs. Knight preferred ceiling fans.
No wonder Prescott divorced her.
For my money, she's a few berries shy of a shortcake. She's like one of those characters in a Tennessee Williams play.
I don't read plays. I just play.
I thought that was the case.
You were a tad early for the cookout, aren't you?
Prescott called and said he wanted to see me. He said he had something important to discuss. I came a little early, hoping I might see you so we could continue our previous conversation at the cotillion.
And which conversation was that? One about my personal assets or a potential merger?
If you could persuade Prescott into taking Hot Nights public, your net worth would increase considerably.
Let me ask you a question, Mr. Boyle. Since you sit on the board of directors at Down Home Foods, doesn't your relationship with Prescott constitute a conflict of interest?
Not really. I only represent Prescott's private financial interests, not his business.
And what interests do you have in my interests?
If anything should happen to Prescott, after all, he is well struck in years. A vibrant young woman such as yourself should be thinking of her future.
Since Prescott and I are not yet married, doesn't that seem just a tad premature?
You should at least consider a prenuptial agreement.
Well, I don't know anything about such things.
I would be more than happy to tutor you.
Well, I do appreciate that, and I will keep that on the back burner.
Speaking of back burners, I haven't seen you at the gym lately, Pepper. Hello, Mr. Boyle.
Hello, Shiloh.
Am I interrupting anything?
As a matter of fact,
Can
Mr.
you
Boyle,
believe this heat so early in the day? Are you as hot as I am, Mr. Boyle?
you'll have to excuse me. I think I need some fresh air. It's getting awful stuffy in here. Mr. Boyle, I will be out on the veranda.
Of course. Pepper seems a little tense.
Yes, I do believe the blush is already off the rose.
I see. Any idea why your granddaddy has called this meeting?
No, but I don't imagine it bodes well. Mr. Boyle, I was thinking I might take a swim. I have this new little bathing suit I'd like to try out. Would you care to join me?
I didn't bring my swimsuit.
Oh, well, another time, perhaps.
Anyway, I need to speak with Miss Devine some more. I have some unfinished business with the future Mrs. Knight.
Well, don't forget, we also have some unfinished business.
I haven't forgotten, if you'll excuse me.
Okay. Oh, hello, Brick.
Well, hello, Miss Shadow. I'm looking for Maggie.
Who?
Your cousin, Magnolia.
Oh, her. Well, I believe I saw her at the pig pen.
Are you sure?
Well, I think that was her, but there's just so many pigs down there, it's hard to say. Mr. Boyle, I was thinking I might take a swim before this heat positively drives me crazy. Would you rub some lotion on my back?
I could, but I don't think Miss Magnolia would understand.
Well, I wouldn't worry about her. She's as loony as my grandma. Well, at least walk me outside.
Oh, okay, let's go.
Oh, Mr. Boyle. Mr. Boyle, I got that cool refreshment you wanted.
My, oh my, Sassy, what a wonderful day, don't you think?
It is. It's about 100 degrees and my armpits feel like Niagara Falls.
Nothing you say is gonna spoil my day.
What are you so giddy about?
Something.
Well, you better put a lid on it. I can't take all this fuss. Well, the heat and all preparing for the cookout, it's just about to do me in.
Oh, Sassy, quit being a stick in the mud. Nothing you say. Tomorrow's gonna be the best day ever.
I'm sure I don't know what you're talking about.
Brick Tarmac's gonna ask me to marry him.
What?
Brick Tarmac's gonna make it official. Oh, Sassy, say you're happy for me. Say it.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, I'm happy for you.
You mean that, don't you?
Goodness, no, what's wrong with you, child?
No, don't tell me that, Sassy. Why can't you be happy for me?
Because your granddaddy's called a family meeting, and everybody's on pins and needles. Dr. Griggs was in there with him. Yeah, for about 2 hours this morning. Oh, it's like somebody put a stick into a hornet's nest. What with your granddaddy's engagement to Miss Pepper and all, it's got the whole family on edge. Well, he could go at any moment, and there he is making a fool of himself with a woman young enough to be his granddaughter.
What kind of meeting is it?
Who knows? All I know is it involves everybody, the entire staff as well.
Well, when Brick and I announce our engagement, everything's gonna be set right. Ever since Bodacious jumped off that Creek River Bridge, a dark cloud has hung over this family.
When are you gonna wake up and smell the chicken frying? You think Bo jumped off that bridge?
Of course he jumped. I remember that day vividly. It's like it happened just 2 months ago.
It was just 2 months ago.
Maybe that's why it's so fresh in my memory. Bo was just a poor boy from the other side of the tracks.
There ain't no trains in Knights County.
No train?
No tracks.
Nonetheless, he was a poor boy. I just know he thought he wasn't good enough for me. It's such a curse being rich. I hate it. Money ruins everything. That's why Bo jumped into the river.
Bo did not jump.
Of course he jumped. If he didn't, that means it must have been an accident. It's just an accident isn't as romantic as jumping because of unrequited love.
You think it was unrequited love? Didn't you think it's strange they found Bo tied up in a gunny sack?
I guess I hadn't remembered that. You don't think Bo meant with foul play, do you?
Well, it's a thought.
Is there something you know that you're not telling me?
I know lots of stuff. I'm just the maid. My function is to cook and clean.
And to provide relevant information in this story we call life. The hired help is always smarter than the people they work for. They have such a keen sense of irony. They just don't have the means or the money to capitalize on their intelligence.
Miss Maggie, you read too much fiction. You live in a fragile fantasy world of make-believe. Well, ever since Bo died, all you've done with your days is play with those stuffed animals.
These animals are my friends. They help me in my time of need.
Maggie, your mind's practically gone. You don't have a clue what's going on around you. Why, that menagerie upstairs is just a shrine to your weirdness. That's a metaphor for how truly out of touch you are. With this country, this town, my own family's built on deception and lies.
I don't see how that's possible.
That's what I'm talking about. You don't hear anything, you don't see anything that's going on around you, nothing.
Well, if Bo was murdered, why and by who?
Well, I don't know. Maybe he knew something.
Like what? What did Bo know?
Well, I don't know what Bo knew.
Are you suggesting that the truth has been obfuscated?
Meg, yeah, I wouldn't use them big words. Breck wouldn't like it.
Now, you leave Brick Tarmac out of this. I know you don't care for him, but he was there for me when I lost Bo.
Yeah, not a moment too soon.
Are you insinuating that Brick's intentions towards me are not honorable?
I said no. I said no.
Why, Brick, your nose must have been twitching.
Well, why?
Oh, it's just an expression. If your nose is twitching, it means somebody's talking about you.
I don't think it's twitching.
Oh, Lord of mercy.
I have a wonderful idea.
Oh,
Let's make our announcement today at the cookout. Let's not wait until tomorrow.
what announcement?
Oh, you're so funny. Here, sit down and we'll plan it all out, okay?
Okay. Sue Ray, if this is what I think it's about.
It'll be over my dead body. Sassy, would you find Warren and bring him here?
Well, which one?
Not the one with the thing. My daddy will meet with all of us in the household staff in about 5 minutes.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello, everybody. Look who I found.
Now, Fester, what gets you off the golf course on a day like today?
A personal invitation from your daddy-in-law.
If it's a personal invitation from your daddy, must be something about his will.
Will? Did I hear something about a will?
Hello, Grandma.
Oh, Shiloh. I do wish you would call me Peppa. After all, there's not that much difference in our ages.
Mother? I'm sure Shiloh meant no offense.
Sue Ray, I am not your mother, nor will I ever be. I'd like for you to call me Peppa also.
But you will be my stepmother.
Yes, but since I am so much younger than you are.
And since my daddy is so much older than you,
Oh, please, let's not go into that May December romance thing again.
more like a 1-week romance.
Oh, there you go. Insinuating that I am marrying your daddy for his money.
Perish the thought. What healthy young woman doesn't love a walking corpse?
Oh, Juan, there you are.
Morning, Mr. Vine.
Have you had the oil changed in my Lincoln?
Yes, ma'am. 3,000 miles on the dot.
And did they put one of those little stickers in the window reminding me it's due again in another 3,000 miles?
Yes, ma'am. Do it 6,000 miles.
Excellent. And did you also remember to tell them that it's a little sluggish starting?
The mechanic said there was a problem with the battery. It had to be recharged.
Hopefully you'll take as much interest in my daddy as you do your car.
The way I hear tell it, her car's not the only thing that needs her battery recharged.
Shiloh, I will not have you talking about your granddaddy like that.
Is that a threat?
Yes, I suppose it is.
What are you gonna do? Shoot me with that little pistol of yours?
Don't tempt me.
Juan, there is one more thing I need you to do for me.
Yes, ma'am.
Chester has eaten my budgie.
Excuse me?
Oh, Chester, my cat. He ate Mr. Tweets. Now poor old Mrs. Tweets is up there in that big old bird cage, just as lonely as she can be. I would like for you to run into Delphi to the pet shop and buy me a new budgie, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Hey, Juan,
Yes, sir.
is that a can of weed killer you got there?
Yes, sir.
You need to find an appropriate place to store that. I don't like that in this house.
Yes, sir.
Well, well, what a sight for sore eyes.
Buongiorno. Mama, you're back.
Tarnation, what are you doing here?
I live here. Have you forgotten that already?
You're supposed to be in Italy.
Well, I'm back, but not for long.
What are you doing back?
Just a short break. Oh, too much wine and too much pasta. Oh, and too much love.
Mama.
I'm a joke.
Well, I'm kidding. Well, about the wine and the pasta. But you might as well know I met someone and he swept me off my feet.
She's just trying to make me jealous. Well, I'm not.
What's his name?
He's young, swarthy, Italian, and he swept me off my feet. And it wasn't the wine that did it, no.
She's still trying to make me jealous. And I'm still not jealous.
His name is Arturo, and he's everything that your daddy's not, including young.
Prescott, what is going on here? What does she mean she lives here? Are you divorced or not?
Yes, we're divorced. She just got half the house in the settlement.
Half? Half the house? I can't live under the same roof with this woman.
Don't worry. We'll work it out.
So you're my competition?
What?
I mean the other woman.
Oh, you listen here. I am not the other woman. I am the woman.
I mean you're my competition for the Hot Knights Empire. When that old geezer kicks the bucket.
Well, that is the last thing on my mind.
It should be the first thing on your mind.
I love Prescott, and I don't want anything from him.
That's good. Because just because a man owns a hot sauce empire doesn't mean he's got any spice.
As I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted, thank you all for coming here on such short notice.
Prescott, honey, the toast. The cookout is in a few hours, and Sassy here has yet to earn her salary for the day.
I have something important I need to say.
Is this going to take long?
As long as it needs. Oh, on the occasion of another birthday, when a man reaches my age, he can't help but to reflect on the future, perhaps with a little melancholy. Though no man knows when his time will come, bright white lights, still a distant star, draws inevitably close with every year.
Oh my goodness, Prescott, are you dying?
No. No, Pepper. At least not yet. Dr. Griggs has found the source of my distemper and pronounced me fiddle. So I expect to be around a long time.
Why, that's wonderful, honey. You had me worried there for just a minute.
The only thing she's worried about is he ain't gonna die.
On a day like this, one likes to be surrounded by friends and family. So allow me to make a toast to my lovely bride-to-be, to my daughter, Sue Ray Duquesne, and her husband, Webster Kane Duquesne, my son-in-law, my granddaughter, Magnolia Duquesne, and Herb Old Brick Tarmac.
Yes, sir.
My other granddaughter, Shiloh Devereaux. My gardener, Juan. My faithful housekeeper, Sassy. And my trusted friend and lawyer, Fester N. Boyle.
Daddy, you forgot Mama.
And my ex-wife, Helen. As you know, the Hot Nights motto is and has always been, the secret is in the sauce. But what does that really mean?
Oh, I know. It means that the sauce is the secret. You know, just like that chicken recipe stuff.
Lord of mercy.
My dear boy, what floor did your elevator stop on?
Thank you, Brick. That's what it means literally. But what does it mean figuratively?
Daddy, the toast. The cookout's in 3 hours.
I'm getting to it. The secret is in the sauce. It's a reminder of what is important. It means sticking to your original vision, having integrity, and remaining in touch with your values and your character. It's what Hot Nights is, and what we are supposed to be. It's the ingredients and the consistency of the recipe that's important. Hot Nights never changes. So allow me to make a toast to those of you who are near and dear to my inheritance. You can just kiss my chili peppers.
What? Daddy, have you lost your mind? What on earth would possess you to say something like that?
It has come to my attention that this house is full of liars and deceivers.
Oh, Prescott. That's a little harsh, honey.
And I don't say it lightly. Right now I can only think of one person who deserves my fortune when I'm gone. One person is entitled to the recipe that bears my name.
You ain't thinking of changing your will, are you, old man?
That's what I like about you, WC. It's always been about the money, hasn't it?
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
It's easier to fall in love with a rich girl than one on the other side of the tracks.
There ain't no trains in Knights County.
Daddy, why are you saying these things?
Because I don't know who I can trust.
If you are thinking, as your confidential attorney...
Oh, shut up, Bester. You've got so many fingers in my cobbler, I can't find the fruit.
Prescott, what has upset you this way?
Someone is trying to lead me to an early grave.
What?
Do I have to spell it out?
Is it a big word? Do I need a pencil?
Lord of mercy.
Someone is trying to kill me.
What?
Do you think Sassy's trying to kill you?
It could be Sassy. It could be you.
Me?
It could be any of you.
I just arrived.
Prescott. I cannot imagine anyone here being that crass.
For some time now, I've had a feeling that somebody's been trying to get into my safe. So I hired myself a private investigator.
I ain't seen no private investigator around here.
That's what makes him private. He doesn't walk around with a big neon sign flashing, private investigator. That person would be the late Bodacious.
My Bo?
That's right. He insinuated himself into this family by pretending he was in love with Magnolia.
What? Pretending? You mean that was all an illusion?
Oh, just like my marriage to your granddaddy.
Oh, it's okay. You don't have to worry about it. Just lean on me. Forget about Bo.
Oh, before Bo's untimely death, it seems he found out quite a lot. He was going to lay it all out for me. Unfortunately, he ended up in the river before he could tell me what he had learned.
So he didn't actually tell you anything.
No. Bo had been working late that night down at the distillery affixing labels to a batch of Hot Night's bottles. Said he had found something out, but he said it wasn't safe to talk on the phone. Said he felt like he was being watched or followed, but just in case something happened to him, he'd find a way to leave the name or names of those he suspected. Well, I went down to the distillery and he wasn't there. The following day, he was fished out of the river.
Oh man, you surely have lost your mind, son.
No, that would be your mother-in-law.
Well, I knew that.
As for me, my recent health problems combined with a lot of coincidences and accidents are all adding up to something very disturbing. The wheels going out on my car, the brakes and landing gear collapsing on my aeroplane, the hole in my fishing boat, and now, somebody's been trying to poison me.
Daddy, you must have come down with something. Do you have a fever? Sassy, get him some fever medicine.
Okay.
Go ahead, Sassy. And while you're at it, why don't you try to rustle up a big old dose of rat poison?
Do you think that Sassy's trying to poison you?
It could be Sassy. It could be you. It could be any of you.
I just arrived here.
That's your story.
Yeah, I'm sticking to it.
Prescott, what about that clue that Bo left you? Have you found it yet?
Not yet. But I will.
I know.
An idea is percolating.
Why have you waited until now to say something? Bo died 2 months ago.
Oh, that boy was good, but he was young. He was flaky as a biscuit, so I wasn't sure I could believe him until today.
Bo wasn't a flake.
Here's a case of the pot not knowing the kettle is black.
So what happened today, sir?
Somebody replaced my bourbon with weed killer. Gonna call the sheriff or something?
I'm gonna call the sheriff.
I wouldn't trust that clown any further than I could throw him. He wasn't smart enough to figure out that Bo was murdered.
Well, what are we gonna do about one? The man's an ex-con and a safecracker.
It could be Juan, but if he's going to replace a bourbon bottle with weed killer, why not just sign his name to it? Give the man some credit.
Thank you, Mr. Knight.
You're not off the hook
Thank you.
just because you think, or I think you didn't do it. Doesn't mean you didn't do it, weren't involved in some way.
Thank you.
If you are going to make changes in your will,
I'll do it myself.
well, do you want me to go with you? We can talk this through.
I'll do my own talking, and I'll do my own thinking. I don't trust anyone, including you. If I need any help, I'll consult with Judge Drum. He'll be here this afternoon.
Is this what money does? Makes everybody hateful and distrustful? If I could get my hands on that hot night recipe, I'd destroy it. It has caused nothing but heartache and greed.
Well, Maggie, I was going to leave the recipe to you. But whatever has afflicted your mother, your grandmother, has affected you as well.
Well, don't y'all know that money can't buy happiness?
Yeah.
But it sure can't buy all those things that happiness isn't.
Oh, well, wait, no, where you going?
Let her go, son.
What am I gonna do now?
Find a bar and drown your sorrows.
Okay.
Daddy, should we cancel the cookout?
Oh, shoot, no. I plan on having a good time. You all may not, but I plan on it. Thank you all for your time. I'll be down at the distillery for a while. Judge Drum will be here and I'll be back at 3 o'clock.
Well, that should put the damper on things.
Well, well. Thank you all very much. All I can say is, whoever is trying to kill my future husband, you have surely made a big mess of things. There is no telling what he is going to do with that will now, and I need some security. And as for you, you old bat, I want you out of my half of this house immediately.
Listen here, you gold digger. This is my half of the house. Your half is out there in the barn.
Huh.
So, Ray, on second thought, I'm going to take the next flight out.
But what about the barbecue and Daddy's birthday?
If I stay any longer, one of us is going to be dead. Sassy, would you get me a taxi, please? I'll need about 30 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have one drive you.
Which one?
The one with the thing.
Never mind. I'll take the taxi.
Helen, don't do anything I wouldn't do.
Oh, honey, I've done it all. Ciao, baby.
Ciao, Mom.
Well, this changes everything.
Yes, it does.
As his attorney, wouldn't you have a copy of his will?
It doesn't make any difference. All your granddaddy has to do is write out a codicil, and that takes the place of all other wills.
I see. Well, I think I'll take in a movie before the cookout. just to clear my head. It's that remake of Double Indemnity.
Yes, I've seen it. Well, maybe I'll play those 18 holes that I missed this morning. I should be done in time for the cookout.
Walk me to my car.
I'd be happy to.
Ron, come here. Come here, I got something to tell you. I put up with that old codger for years. This is how he repays me. Rustle up a big old dose of rat poison, sassy. I should have seen the handwriting on the wall.
Do you think there's anything in the will for us?
You'll probably get to keep that old bird, and I'll get a lifetime supply of hot sauce.
Want to trade?
Oh, don't worry about the will. The old man put the recipe in the safe. If we could get our hands on it, we could have millions. No more working for peanuts.
I've given up my life of crime.
Yeah, look where that's gotten you.
The nights have been good to me.
Well, they've been good to me too, but I can't make a living on being well treated. Come on, let's get out of here.
Is it true what Daddy said? Was your only interest in the money? Is that why you married me?
Now, that's not a fair question.
It most certainly is. Was it?
I like to think of it as part of the package.
In other words, if I had been poor, you wouldn't have married me.
See, Ray, picture this. It's like buying a car. If you can get the car with all the options for the price of the stripped-down model, you go for the one with the options. It's a no-brainer.
Options. Is that a convoluted way of saying you love me?
Why, yes, it is.
That's a relief. All right, now we have to make sure Daddy doesn't cut us out of the will.
Now, how are we going to do that?
Come on, I've got some ideas. We'll talk what's more private.
Cool.
Oh, Brick, there you are.
Hi, Miss Pepper.
I seem to be having some car trouble.
Oh.
I'm wondering if you could help me. I think it's my battery again.
Oh, really?
I might need a jump.
Well, I got the right size cables for that.
Let's go try it out, babe.
Friends, and I do consider you all friends, thank you so much for coming to our annual barbecue to celebrate my daddy's birthday. I am somewhat embarrassed as my daddy is unusually tardy. However, I'm sure he'll be with us soon. Meanwhile, continue to enjoy yourselves and be sure to use plenty of hot nights. My daddy says the secret's in the sauce. But I like to say, you ain't had anything if you ain't had hot nights. Sassy, are you sure you didn't see my daddy when you were down at the distillery?
No, ma'am. All I did was go get a case of hot sauce from the conveyor belt. If he was there, I didn't see him.
Hopefully he's not passed out drunk.
I wish I were.
What's that you said?
I say it. Perish the thought.
Where have you been the past few hours?
It doesn't matter. Have you seen Brick?
I have been looking for your granddaddy, not your boyfriend.
Brick is more than a boyfriend. He is my soulmate.
That's how I feel about my bunions. Totally worthless.
Why, Brick, I've been looking for you. We need to make our announcement to let everybody know that we are in love and we're getting engaged.
Wait.
And we're doing it all without being tainted by Big Granddaddy's money.
Oh, wait a minute.
Ladies and gentlemen, Rick and I have an announcement to make.
Big Granddaddy is dead.
What?
Wait, that's not what I was going to say.
Prescott Knight is dead.
What happened? Was it his heart? Did Daddy's heart finally give out?
I think he was poisoned.
Poisoned?
I went into his office and he was slumped over his desk, face planted, and a pile of ribs. It was so undignified, I insisted that we move him upstairs.
We?
Me and Judge Drum. As soon as I found your daddy, I grabbed the judge. He's collecting evidence.
Did you call the sheriff?
He's out of town on sensitivity training. Yeah, right. Huh? So the judge says he'll handle things and everybody needs to stay put.
Does the judge think someone here did it? One of the guests? Someone I used to think of was a friend?
I don't know what the judge is thinking.
Oh, Mama, tell me it's not true. Has a dark cloud over terra firma?
How would I know? I've been inside the past hour.
And that's not the worst of it.
Well, what can be worse than Big Granddaddy dying?
We've been cleaned out and burglarized.
You mean that his safe is empty?
Well, it's not totally empty. The extortion money's still there. Various blackmail pictures. The foreclosure on the old folks' home. But not your daddy's will, and not the recipe for hot nights.
I'm all weak, Sassy. I need a drink.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, Mama, don't drink. Not now. Think of your liver.
I am thinking about my liver, and it's beginning to quiver. Sassy, make that a double.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Brick, let me lean on you.
What are we gonna do?
We could be ruined.
Sassy, make that a triple.
Okay. Ruined? How?
Somebody else has a copy of...
Surely there's a copy of the will in the safety deposit box at the bank.
Well, of course there is. We're not idiots. Well, not all of us.
Then what's the problem?
I told you. Somebody has a copy of Hot Night's recipe. They could sell it to the highest bidder. And before you know it, we're in trouble.
Sassy?
Yes, ma'am. I'll bring the whole bottle.
But I don't understand.
Somebody... It's the formula for Hot Nights. That's this family's inheritance. It's our livelihood. Why, without that, we'll be broke in no time.
But didn't you say there's a copy of the will at the bank?
Yes?
So there's another copy of the recipe.
Yes.
So I don't understand.
Somebody has a copy of Hot Night's recipe. They can sell it to the highest bidder. And before we know it, our market shares will go right down the toilet.
Ruined. Oh, my goodness, Sassy.
I'm going to bring her 2 bottles.
Couldn't we sue?
Of course we can sue. They just deny it. They say they stumble on it. They'll be making it in China. And before you know it, we'll be sweeping the streets.
Why, whatever is the commotion?
Well, look what the cat dragged in. And where have you been?
If it were any of your business, which it is not, I had some personal matters to attend to. That's not against the law, is it? What is the matter?
Your husband-to-be is dead.
Preston is
Prescott.
dead. Prescott is dead? Oh, I mean, oh. It was your mother? She killed him, didn't she? I knew she was poisoned the moment I laid eyes on her.
Funny. That's how she felt about you. That's why after meeting you, she took a taxi and left.
Oh, Preston.
Prescott.
Prescott. I must go to him. Where is he?
It's been moved upstairs to his room.
His room is the other way.
I am so distraught.
You're going to have to stay put, Miss Divan.
It's divine.
Excuse me?
My name is not Pepper Divan. I'm divine.
I'm sure you are.
Please, Prescott needs me.
Not anymore. You're going to have to stay.
Very well.
I'm afraid I got more bad news.
How much worse can it get?
There's been another murder. Juan is also dead. He's been shot.
Which one? Juan the one-eyed gardener?
No, the other one.
You sure?
Yes, he's got that thing.
No, I mean, you sure he's dead?
Of course I'm sure. There's a hole in one.
Juan!
What?
Whatever it is, I didn't do it.
What it was murder.
I still didn't do it.
Juan, too, is dead.
Mamma mia!
I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask all of you to stay while I conduct my investigation.
You're going to conduct an investigation now? Here?
I consider all of terra firma part of the crime scene until my investigation is done.
You all gonna need a lot more crime scene tape. Go on, around there.
The investigation starts now. Evidence is perishable. It's like a package of cold cuts with an expiration date. You must begin before the mold begins to grow.
Cold cuts have an expiration date?
I've completed my survey of the physical evidence at the distillery. Now it's time for some questioning.
You think one of our guests might have killed Preston?
Prescott!
Scott?
It's possible, but not very likely. Investigations usually start with the immediate family and those closest to the victim.
Well, that lets me out.
Closest to the victim includes the hired help.
Well, you might as well start with Juan. He's an ex-con and a safecracker.
First things first, we must consider motive. Was there a motive for killing Prescott Knight?
There was so much motive this morning you could have gagged on it.
Of course there was motive. For everyone but me.
What Miss Devine means is Prescott announced he might be making some changes to his will.
You're acting like it was someone else. You only wanted to marry my daddy for his money. You probably did him in.
If I had known what I was getting into when your daddy asked me to marry him, I might have done myself in.
I have a nice little 38 you can use.
Are you speaking of a blue one with a pearl handle?
Yes, that's what my pistol looks like.
A pistol matching that description was found lying next to Juan 2.
Well, so much for the grieving daughter.
You got a pistol?
Yes, it was my little secret. I don't feel safe when I'm driving alone.
I never knew that.
No one knew. Well, almost no one.
When was the last time you saw your daddy?
Daddy called a meeting shortly before noon. It only took a few minutes. He intimated he was changing his will. He said someone was trying to kill him. Then we all made ourselves scarce.
So, there's about 3 hours everyone's going to need to account for their time. We're going to start with Lassie.
My name is Sassy, not Lassie, and I didn't have time to work murder into my schedule. I was here the entire time preparing for the cookout.
And you never left?
That's right.
You were here in this room the entire time? That if the phone had rang, or if someone had come to the door you would have known, you would have answered?
Well, yes.
Juan,
Yes?
first of all, is it true you're an ex-con and an ex-safecracker?
Was.
Was means previously. If you were previously an ex-safecracker, then you must be one now.
No? Yes? I don't know. You're confusing me.
Where were you this afternoon between noon and 3?
I was running errands.
What kind of errands?
Miss Devine asked me to buy her a new budgie.
Budgie? What's a budgie?
It's like a parakeet, only it's a budgie.
Is that true?
Yes. My cat Chester ate my old budgie, so I asked Juan to run into Delphi to the shop.
Yet you were gone for 3 hours? Delphi is less than a 20-minute drive from here. At most, you should have only taken an hour.
They didn't have what Miss Devine was looking for at the pet shop in Delphi. The owner of the pet shop in Delphi only had parrots and parakeets. He said he didn't have no stinking budgies. I had to drive to the pet shop in Solano.
I see. Mr. Boyle,
Yes?
how'd you spend your time after the meeting?
I usually play 18 holes of golf on Saturday mornings, but Prescott asked me to drop by. I hit the links shortly after noon, and then I spent the rest of the day in my office till I came here.
Okay, thank you. Miss Devereaux,
I drove over to Delphi and took in a movie. I saw the 1 o'clock showing of Double Indemnity at the Gemini Twin.
how was the movie?
Oh, a lot of talk and no action. I like a lot of action.
I see. I may need to question you further. Mr. and Mrs. Duquesne.
WC and I drove to the bank to do some business, and then we dropped by to see Mr. Boyle, but he wasn't there.
Okay, well, thank you. Miss Devine.
I put the top down on my Lincoln and drove into Solano. I was so upset about the things that Prescott had said to me. I needed to think things through.
You don't remember seeing Juan on your drive?
Well, he'd be the last person I'd expect to see.
Okay, I see. Thank you very much. Rick Tarmac.
Yeah, I went fishing. Mr. Knight said I could use his boat anytime. It's docked down at the marina.
Okay. Miss Maggie.
I was at the library.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I now need some time to sift through the evidence and consider your statements. To do that, I'm going to need the assistance of a couple of individuals that can help me solve this murder. Are there a couple individuals out there that I see?
Look at them people.
Oh, yes. Yes, you'll do nicely. What is your name? Susie. Okay, Susie, welcome. Anybody else out there that, yes, please, stand up, sir. What's your name? Gary. Gary. Okay, Gary. Well, thank you very much. While I'm sifting through the evidence, please take the opportunity to look at that red envelope on your table. Open it up. It has evidence in it. Do not open the white one, just the red one. Thank you all, and please stay put.
John, look at them people. They're packed.
She's standing with Susie. See, I think it's got to be one of them.
All right, thank you for your patience. Hopefully you had a chance to sift through that evidence and line it out. We're going to be using it.
Is this some sort of a joke?
No, it isn't, Mr. Boyle. It's always useful to have another set of eyes and ears.
By my count, there's 800 ears and 799 eyes.
Ladies and gentlemen, as I understand, Prescott Knight called a family meeting to discuss the suspicions that someone was trying to do him harm. There was a series of questionable accidents, and his safe had been disturbed. As a result, he hired Bodacious as a private investigator. 2 months ago, Bo was found at the bottom of the river after suggesting he had found some information. Today's meeting was called because Mr. Knight found that his bourbon had been replaced with weed killer. The meeting ended about noon, and Mr. Knight announced his intentions to go to the distillery to think things through. At approximately 20 minutes after 3, Mrs. Knight asked her husband and me to go in search of Mr. Knight. At about 3:30, we found Mr. Knight in his office, slumped over his desk, poisoned. clenching a bottle of Hot Nights. About 10 minutes later, we found Juan, the one with that thing, dead in the warehouse. He appears to have been shot with Miss Duquesne's pistol.
Well, there you have it. It's clear as day. Juan, stole Mr. Kane's gun. He poisoned Mr. Knight, and then he shot himself. I think I'm going to detective school.
I wouldn't enroll just yet.
Why
Since
not?
Juan was left-handed,
Yeah.
he'd have had to have been a contortionist to pull that off.
Well, I bet you I could do it.
Oh, would you?
What's not clear is why Juan would have shot himself, especially if he had gotten what he needed. For the moment, we're going to exclude Juan. Now, before I look at your alibis, we must establish motive. What might have been the motive here?
Money,
That's a
money.
Oh, bless your heart. We have already established that.
It's money.
Yes, but more to the point, money that would have been made by holding the recipe to Hot Night. Since any one of you or all of you could have been excluded from Prescott Knight's new will, the recipe was a surefire way of making out like a bandit.
Only problem is, Brick and I wouldn't have been in the will anyway, so you can exclude us.
Or me.
Me too.
Well, I undoubtedly would have been in the new will, but since I was not in the old will, you can exclude me too.
True, but it's not the will we're talking about. It's the recipe. The way I see it, there are holes in every one of your stories, giving any one of you the chance to have gone to the distillery between 12:30 and 3 o'clock. Ladies and gentlemen, we're at a point in the program where I'm going to need your assistance in questioning our suspect. So please take out the red packet, the evidence, and we're going to start our questioning with Lassie. It appears you were not entirely truthful when you said that you were here the full time.
I'm sassy, mister.
So the evidence points that you were not in this room the full time.
What evidence?
I was here.
Well, I was here the full time.
Ladies and gentlemen, who agrees with me? Please look at your evidence and see. I see a hand up there. Yes, please stand up. What we're looking for is the evidence that shows that Miss Lassie Sassy was not here the entire time. Please, go ahead.
You say one word and I'll slap you silly.
If she lays a hand on you, I'll have her arrested for assault. Please,
And pepper.
go ahead.
She was not there to take delivery.
Yes, that's right. Take a look. The Delphi Parcel Service has a failed attempted delivery notice dated today at 2:20, which clearly indicates you were not here the entire time.
Well, all right, I admit it. I snuck upstairs for a short nap. Oh, only about 30 minutes. I was exhausted.
You can't prove that.
Well, look at me. Don't I look exhausted?
Quite right. You look awful.
Oh,
Clearly enough time to have poisoned Big Granddaddy and stolen the recipe.
well, you just search me if you want to.
Oh, you'd like that, wouldn't you?
Miss Devine, you said you took an afternoon drive to Solano?
Yes,
That's 120 miles round trip.
I know how far it is. I have driven to Solano many times.
That's a 2.5-hour round trip.
Judge, I know how far it is, and I know how long it would take me to drive there and back. Now, if you're done telling me things I already know, is there a question in there?
Unfortunately, your alibi doesn't hold up. Ladies and gentlemen, again, I ask for your assistance. Please try to find the evidence that proves that Miss Devine did not drive to Solano. If you find it, please raise your hand. Oh, I have one over here. One over here.
15 miles
Oh,
since
what?
her 3,000-mile checkup.
What would you know? You're already 3 sheets to the wind.
Yes. Miss Devine's next oil change is due at 6,000 miles. Her odometer now reads 3,017 miles. Enough miles for Juan to have driven the 17 miles back from the Delphi service station, but not enough miles to drive anywhere. In fact, you didn't drive anywhere at all.
That stupid mileage doohickey thing must be broken.
Mr. and Mrs. Duquesne.
I told you, WC and I did some business at the bank, and then we dropped by to see Mr. Boyle, but he wasn't there.
I don't think so. Audience, please locate. Yes, right out front here. The bank is, oh gosh. Yes, the Delphi Bank is usually open on Saturday afternoons, but as you can tell from this notice that it was closed this afternoon to replace the air conditioning system.
You won't be invited back to next year's barbecue.
Okay, fine. So we didn't go to the bank. But we did go by Fester Moore's office, and he wasn't there.
Which still gives you plenty of times to perpetrate the murder. Let's move on to Mr. Boyle. You said you played a round of golf this afternoon. That would explain why you weren't in your office when Mr. and Mrs. Duquesne dropped by.
That's right.
Oh, on one of the hot summer days of the summer, you were out playing by yourself?
Yes.
Round of golf usually takes how long, keeping in mind you were playing alone?
More than 2 hours, less than 3.
Okay. Is this your scorecard I found in your golf bag in the trunk of your car?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Audience, if someone would be so kind to look up Fester Boyle's card and share with us what you have found. Yes, go ahead. 38? Boy, that would be a...
That proves nothing.
Fester Boyle's scorecard shows that he only played 9 holes, less than half the time he claimed he had spent on the course, and plenty of time to make a hole-in-one. Let's turn to Miss Magnolia. You said you went to the library.
I sure did. I was at the library reading and enjoying the air conditioning.
On a day like today, very smart, but not true. Ladies and gentlemen, please look at the evidence and see if you can find the library hours for the Saturday afternoon. What time did they close? Ah, that's
Library
right.
closed at 1 o'clock.
Library hours are easy enough to check. The Delphi Library closes at 1 o'clock on Saturday afternoons, which gives you 2 hours unaccounted for.
Well, I did go to the library and I stayed until it closed. After that, I went to the cemetery to visit Bodacious.
Whoa, wait a minute. I thought it was over. Are you still dating him? I thought it was over between you two.
He's a dead man. How can you be jealous of a dead man?
Nonetheless, without witnesses to prove that you were at the cemetery, you're still a suspect. While you're up here, Brick.
What? Oh, I went fishing. You know, Mr. Knight said I could use this boat anytime. It's docked down at the marina.
That's very generous of Mr. Knight. But, again, ladies and gentlemen, please locate the evidence that says that Brick could not have gone fishing in Mr. Knight's boat. Oh.
You better not say nothing. No.
Mr. Knight's boat is in the repair shop to fix that pesky hole that suddenly appeared in it. So, where were you?
Oh, you're just fishing, Judge. You ain't got nothing on me. I ain't saying nothing.
Miss Devereaux.
As I said, I went to a movie at the Gemini Twin in Delphi. I saw that remake of Double Indemnity. Oh, the 1 o'clock showing.
Do you have your ticket stub?
No.
Because there's a simple explanation, isn't there, ladies and gentlemen? Yes, look at the flyer from the Gemini Twin. What's the schedule? Yeah. That's right. Throughout the week, Double Indemnity shows every 2 hours beginning at 1 o'clock. On the weekends, it shows every 2 hours beginning at 12 o'clock. You got some explaining to do.
Next person I talk to will be my attorney.
I hope it's not Fester Boyle. Finally, we turn to Juan. You said you went to Solano to buy Miss Divine a new bird.
Yes, that's right.
What vehicle did you use?
The company pickup.
Were you able to buy Miss Divine a new bird?
Yes, but not in Delphi. I had to drive to Solano and the pet shop in Solano, and that's 2.5 hours round trip.
Do you have your receipt?
No.
Why not?
It fell in the cage and the bird ate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I call on you once more to draw your conclusion. Locate the flyer from the Delphi Pet Shop. What does it say about budgies? They have a lot of them. Oh, so this flyer in the Delphi Oracle clearly shows the Delphi Pet Shop have plenty of budgies for sale, which give you plenty of time to kill Mr. Knight because you never made that 2.5 hour drive to Solano and back. In fact, you were gone less than an hour.
All right, I didn't go to Solano. I got back around 1 o'clock. I climbed up into the hayloft to get a bale of hay for the horses when I heard somebody else coming up the hayloft ladder.
Who'd you see?
Miss Divine, followed by Mr. Brick.
What? Well, that is the biggest lie I have ever heard.
And they didn't see you?
No, I hid behind the hay bales.
Why didn't you say something?
Before I could, they were comparing tattoos.
So you spied on them. Oh, I bet you had one of those little cameras. It's probably on YouTube by now.
Do you believe him?
I will not even justify that lie with an answer.
Unfortunately, it's your word against theirs.
Well, I believe him.
Well, why?
Because just before Juan 2 came in, Mr. Brick came in and he had hay in his hat. Oh, dear.
Oh, dear.
You're just making a mess. And Miss Divine had in her hair. Look.
Ooh, there is hay there.
My future
Hey.
stepmother is carrying on with my future son-in-law. That is wrong on so many levels.
You were making whoopee with my future step-grandmother?
When you say it that way, it sounds so creepy.
It is creepy.
Well, Brick, shut up.
Oh.
Judge, that's a serious charge. Suggesting that one of us killed Prescott Knight, stole his recipe, and then made it look like his killer shot himself in the right side of the head.
I never said Juan 2 shot himself in the head.
It's obvious, isn't it?
Is it?
You said he would have to be a contortionist because he was left-handed.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have one last curiosity. That white envelope that says do not open until instructed, please go ahead and open it now. On the seconds before he died, Prescott Knight wrote something in a pool of hot sauce. Please study that photograph carefully.
What photograph?
Oh, that's right. Give it to the detective.
Look at that photograph.
All right, here. It says the secret is C in the sauce.
Oh, his whole life was about that secret.
Perhaps, but what if he was trying to tell us something else?
What else could it be?
Look at that word in. Does that look like an eye?
The man dying and he's finger painting in hot sauce.
The secret is seeing the sauce. The secret is seeing the sauce.
Maybe it's an O.
Oh.
The secret is on the sauce.
Oh.
Didn't Granddaddy say that Bo was printing the labels the night before he was killed?
Where are those bottles, Sassy?
Well, they're out on those tables right now. All them hot sauces.
Folks, I need your help. Those bottles may be the only way we can prove who was trying to kill Prescott Knight and who murdered Bodacious. Study those bottles carefully. When you think you have found the clue, please raise your hand. Keep looking. We got somebody right here. Susie, in the white sweater.
Or the white colored sweater.
Upside down, it says Shiloh Boyle.
What?
Yes.
What?
Ladies and gentlemen, turn those bottles upside down and look at the batch number.
This is preposterous!
That proves nothing.
By itself, no, but the fact that you knew Juan was shot on the right side of his head is something only the killer would have known. And for you, Miss Devereaux, other than you, nobody knew about Miss Duquesne's gun, not even your uncle.
I can't believe I caught you sneaking around my room.
Well, what hope did I have of inheriting anything? With a new young wife, it was pretty obvious who was going to get that recipe. Oh, Fester, you have got to get me out of this mess.
He can't help you. He's in it with you.
Don't worry, they can't prove a thing.
My guess is we'll find the recipe on one of you. And if not, Shiloh, I already have a search warrant for your room. You two are under arrest. Make it easy on yourself and not say another word. Head outside. There's a deputy waiting for you.
Toodaloo. Judge, I tell you, man, without your help, we couldn't have solved this thing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Will.
Yes, you Knights certainly are an interesting family.
Yes, you know what they say.
No, I don't believe I do.
It takes one to know one.